And only on the late feed, a father talks about the moments of terror as his 11-year-old girl is attacked and held at knife point at a mall in Kennesaw.
He grabbed me, put his arm around me, pulled me to him, and then took his other arm with a knife and put it to my throat.
And Ron Jones spoke exclusively to the dad about how he chased that suspect down.
Yeah, that's right, Vinny. The dad says that mystery woman may hold the key as to why his daughter was snatched in the first place.
Initially, Ron, I just didn't know exactly what had happened.
This dad, who doesn't want to be identified, says his 11-year-old girl was being held at knife point in the ladies' room at the Town Center Mall in Kennesaw. He stood outside and heard several screams.
And then I became a little bit worried and a little bit anxious to find out what was going on.
What was going on is, police say 26-year-old Danzel Mitchell had a knife to his daughter's throat. Later, his little girl explained to detectives and her dad what was happening.
He grabbed me, put his arm around me, pulled me to him, and then took his other arm with a knife and put it to my throat. And then took his hand and put it over my mouth and said, "Shh, be quiet, don't say anything."
His daughter finally breaks free and runs to her dad.
She said, "Dad, there's a guy and I don't know what he was doing, but he grabbed me and Dad, and about that time, a gentleman walked by me."
It startles her.
"Dad, that's him."
He was confused.
Ron, I didn't know. I had no idea. All I knew is that my daughter was distraught.
Dad gives chase.
And I said, "Sir, excuse me. And immediately he said, "I did nothing wrong, I did nothing wrong." And he took off running. I started running after him.
Other people in the food court saw the commotion and grabbed Mitchell until police arrived. The dad says Mitchell was acting strangely while being held.
And I could see that he was looking past me.
He appeared to be communicating with a woman nearby.
And I looked her in her eyes, and she fled.
Now police want to talk to that mystery woman.
If you were to see her again, would you recognize her?
Probably.
So the dad says Mitchell had a steak knife to his daughter's throat, and he says the woman who ran away, the woman who fled, looked Middle Eastern with an olive complexion. Let me tell you a little bit more about her, Vinny. She's about 30 years old, black hair, round face, and he also says that she was wearing a red top. And of course, if anyone has information about that, contact the Cobb County Police Department immediately.
Unbelievable story. Thanks so much, Ron.
Sure.
All right, some late breaking news now out of Alpharetta. Ryan Kruger's here with some disturbing video of what started as a routine traffic stop here, Ryan?
Yeah, that's right, Vinny. Take a look at how several officers appear to be manhandling a 65-year-old woman. Now, the police chief in Alpharetta says this controversial dash cam video was so disturbing, he immediately opened an internal investigation. He says that this does not represent who they are as a department. Now they're investigating this run-in. Take a look at this dash cam video showing 65-year-old Rose Campbell being pulled over last Friday night on Windward Parkway for failure to maintain her lane. She didn't agree with the police officer, so she asked to speak with a supervisor. And somehow, after a few minutes, that escalated to this.
Are you the supervisor? Damn, like all this is. Come on.
Alpharetta's police chief says this officer's actions were so disturbing to him that as soon as he saw this video, he immediately opened up an internal affairs investigation.
There are aspects of this video that you're likely about to watch that simply do not represent who we are as an organization.
For more than 10 minutes, Rose Campbell sat on the side of Windward Parkway in Alpharetta. She told the police officer she wanted to speak with a supervisor, and she refused to sign the traffic ticket. But once she did agree to sign it, she tried closing her door.
That's it. You're not free to go. You're not free. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Stop it! It's a violation of my rights!
Campbell struggles with the officer for a few minutes until backup arrives. Finally, she says she'll get out of the car, and that's when this Alpharetta police officer arrives on scene.
Shut the up and get out of the car! Yeah. Who are you talking to? What's your name? Calm down. What's your name? It's Officer Rag. Shut your mouth. No. Are you the supervisor? Damn, like all this is.
And once a detailed investigation is completed, I can assure you that there will be a decisive and appropriate outcome following that investigation.
And Alpharetta's police chief says he chose to post that controversial video online in hopes of being 100% transparent. Vinny?
Okay, thanks so much. All right, time for your speed feed. And Ron, we just got some new security video of a shootout at a Cobb County Walmart.
Yeah, this is amazing, Vinny. For the first time, we are actually seeing the chain of events that sent one man to the hospital after an apparent road rage fight. Check this out, the top of your screen here, folks. Police say that's Jermaine Davis confronting then and punching 62-year-old Samuel Jones, knocking him to the ground, as you can see. That's when Jones pulls out a handgun and fires, but investigators say it's clearly self-defense. A woman in a blue car then pulled out her own gun, firing at Jones before speeding off with Davis. Tonight, Davis is still recovering from his gunshot wounds, and he's also facing a misdemeanor battery charge. An officer fired in Henry County tonight. David Rose lost his job after a video went viral of him slamming an ex-NFL player, Desmond Morrow, to the ground, then choking him during an arrest. An internal affairs investigation reveals Rose was recorded admitting that he choked Mr. Morrow, but was not going to include that detail in his police report. Felony charges have been dropped against Desmond, but misdemeanor charges still stand. And just into the 11 Alive newsroom, we're getting our first look at an accused killer, Mashawn Williams. The 17-year-old is in the DeKalb County Jail tonight, and police say he's the one who killed 6-year-old Zamari Mitchell. Williams had been on the run since Saturday when police say he fired 31 rounds into a home, hitting Zamari, who was playing inside. Today, police and state troopers caught up with him on Candler Road, and after a short chase that shut down Interstate 20, Williams was taken into custody. And we expect Williams to make his first court appearance tomorrow morning. Just checking 11alive.com for any updates. Vinny?
All right, Ron, just hours ago, the Fannin County Board of Ed voted to arm school personnel. That means all staff, including janitors and teachers, can carry a gun on campus if they get approval from the district. Ashley Johnson was there as the voting sparked debate on both sides.
You can see the building for the Fannin County Board of Education isn't very big, so we're actually redirected to watch the meeting from an overflow room. It was a packed house of those strongly in favor and those against the policy. The board allowed public comments from 10 people. You heard from those who say arming teachers was the right thing to do given today's world, where shootings like Parkland, Florida, are a big concern for all parents, and gun reform continues to be a huge debate in Washington. But I can tell you, after Fannin County passed the policy, many parents who were against it immediately walked out angry.
I feel like that I spoke my say today, but clearly they had already made a decision.
And what if they miss and hit my child? Or another child, an innocent, they're going to get sued for wrongful death.
Would you carry a gun? Would you want another?
Hell to the no. I went to 6 years of school to teach children. I didn't train for the military.
We also spoke with a member of the NRA who says the policy is in the best interest of the students.
And I think that this is a great thing simply because now our children are protected more so. So I think they hit a home run. I give them an A+ today.
Fannin County School Board did not say an exact date as to when this policy will go into effect. Ashley Johnson, 11 Alive News.
Hey, stick around. The Late Feed is back in 60 seconds with new details about a monstrous crime and how investigators cracked the case wide open.